Ever wonder why people act the way they do? Your life experiences shape you more than you think. Stoicism teaches us that it's not the experiences themselves, but how we react to them that defines us. Struggling to connect with someone? Maybe it's because you're not speaking their language. Adapt your communication style and build a bridge of understanding. Does stress make you lash out or shut down? Everyone reacts differently. Recognize stress patterns and offer support. Quick to judge others. Stoicism teaches us to suspend immediate judgments and consider people's circumstances. Do you think people always act in your best interests? Think again. Recognize that people often act out of self-interest. What drives you might not drive others. Learn to recognize it and respect diverse motivations.